All right, Wolfman fans, what's up? We're going to try this a third time. And you guys don't obviously know it's the third time because this is the first video you're going to see. But I tried to record twice already and something funky started going on, so let's hope that doesn't happen again. We're going to get right into it. I was watching a live stream from a buddy of mine. I try to catch his live stream every time it comes on. I don't always catch it when he's actually streaming. Most of the time I have to go back and rewatch it later, but that's okay. I do still enjoy it. But he touched on something I actually wanted to talk about, and that was the idea of censorship. It's funny how all of a sudden within the last, there was always a censorship deal for a long time. This has been a thing for a long time, especially if you've got like bands that you listen to, music that you listen to that's kind of vulgar in nature, curses or this, that, and the other. You get it on the radio and they're going to snip little parts out of the song just because it's bad language or whatever the case may be. We've been dealing with that forever. That's nothing new. But nowadays, everything is being censored. Everything. Even stuff that isn't even remotely offensive. The fact that somebody found it offensive is enough for them to completely, shut it down, And I'm starting to think at this point that a lot of things that are getting censored and getting shut down isn't actually offensive to anybody. It's just that either one, somebody was just being overly careful and wanted to be like super sure that nobody was offended, so they're just taking the extra precaution. Or two, there's an asshole out there, he's just doing it to be a dick. He wants to be the guy who puts leaves his mark on the world for being the guy that censored like all these different things. Which, if anybody finds that dude, like somebody seriously, pop that dude in the mouth. He kind of deserves it. I'm not advocating violence, but come on now. This is just ridiculous. Somebody needs to say something to that individual. But anyways, where this is kind of coming from though, where it was coming from my buddy, is he was talking about as a metal band that lost some kind of sponsorship, or they had some thing on PayPal going so they could, donate to the band. They could help the band out. And they lost that because their music was hateful and it wasn't inclusive enough. Look, I don't know what you were expecting for death metal. I really don't. Death metal, if you've listened to, is some very angry sounding metal. And me, I'm a fan of metal. I enjoy metal. I have for most of my life. Thank you to a lot of good friends of mine, Brandon, Landon. I never noticed that those two guys, until this very moment, their names sounded that similar. Anyway, Brandon, Landon, you guys. There's a lot of you guys out there, a lot of friends that I'm not even going to mention naming because there's honestly way too many of them. But Brandon and Landon are two of my buddies that really got me into a lot of good music. They have an appreciation for more classic stuff as well as metal, and they got me to appreciate it on a different level. Not just that kind of level. No, it's a level that was. You appreciate the complex musical construction of the song, I guess. Just how the guitar is just so complex. The drum work is so complex. And then the beauty of some of the lyrics. Because the lyrics, some of them sound kind of rough, some kind of angry. But if you really listen to them, there's a story there. There's some kind of a true emotion and feeling in a lot of it. Not everything. Not all the time is it like that, but many times it is. Listen to Metallica. Metallica is very much that way. But going back to the original point, I guess what I'm saying is if you don't like it, don't listen to it. It's that simple. You don't ban it. You don't censor it. You don't be like, I don't like this, so nobody should have to listen to it. No, it doesn't work that way. if we have to listen to mumble rap, that bullshit they came out with, if we had to be subjected to the audio seizure inducing freaking whatever that was dubstep, we had to be subjected to that nightmare. And you know what? Here's the kicker. Some of you guys out there might like that kind of music. I particularly don't. I don't think it should be banned. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, we already went through censorship for years. Movies, music, whatever. We gotta water it down so that, you know, if per se a little kid sees it, they don't, you know, get their feelings hurt, or they're not subjected to something at their age, at their tender age, that they shouldn't be. Which, okay, fine, I kind of get that, but you know what? Some of you people are grown-ass adults. Like, I don't like that. It hurt my feelings because it's not inclusive to me. Well, fuck you, you know? I wonder why are we catering to certain grown adults just because? Like the gender queer, part half Latin, half black, whatever person, they don't feel like they're represented enough. No, fine. You know what? Here's my solution to you guys. If you don't feel included, be creative. Use your imagination and create something that includes you, that's about you. Excuse me. Create for yourself. In fact, here's a good example of that. Back in the day, back in the 70s, I want to say around 1976, 1977, there was a band created, and its purpose originally was to represent the gay community. It was called the Village People. And granted, not all the members of the Village People were gay. And a lot of their music can be really honestly taken for just straight at face value. A lot of it really can be, but there's a lot of undertones to it. And actually, the name The Village People derived from the thriving gay community that used to exist at that time in Greenwich Village in New York. And, you know, the outfits of each of the members was kind of a celebration of, like, the culture. The guy went into a gay bar one night, and all these dudes were dressed up like different people. It was kind of a costume party. But you'll notice that they're all, like, masculine in nature. So, you mean, you've got the sailor, or at different times he was also a policeman, soldier, a construction worker, a cowboy, an Indian. Yeah, this was the idea behind it. And they wanted to do that. So they brought this thing in to include people. And it was wildly successful. Not my cup of tea. But, you know, I got to recognize the brilliance of it. I really do. And also, for anybody who all cracks on the fact that there's a guy dressed up like a Native American and gets all their panties in a twist over that, the guy, in fact, his father was actually Lakota Sioux, so you guys can eat it. It's not cultural appropriation. It's what I would like to call cultural celebration. That's another thing. And that kind of falls hand in hand with censorship. People saying, no, you can't do that because it's cultural appropriation. Listen here, man. When did celebration become appropriation? I think I've talked about this before. I really don't go back and watch all my old videos or anything. So if I have talked about it before and I'm repeating myself, forgive me. But really, for real, why, as a white guy, can I not, like, put on a sombrero and, like, dance to some Mexican music, eat some Mexican food, and celebrate that? Why? It's cultural appropriation. Only Hispanic people get to do that. Okay, then, I want you to stop speaking English. There it is. I want you to stop driving cars. Y'all didn't make them. In fact, some of the first automobiles ever were created in like Germany and England. Or not England, Germany and the United States. Those are some of the first ones ever designed. And then you could even go as far as to say Japan, because, once they started making cars, man, it was on. But Mexico didn't. So I want you guys to stop eating hamburgers. It's not a Mexican thing. Can't eat, if you're Hispanic, can't eat pizza anymore. Sorry. It's not a Mexican thing. You see how ridiculous and how easily they can get out of hand? Of course I don't believe that. Anybody can do, you can do whatever you want, as long as you're not infringing on somebody else's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Who cares what you do? And censorship in and of itself gets quite out of hand in that regard. And censorship, unfortunately, just covers a huge broad spectrum. Everything. The only things that we should censor in any way is things that are sensitive to a young, impressionable mind, like little kids. And this has always been this way. This is not something. This is not something new. We've done this for, decades. We've done this. Some things that come on TV where a little kid might see it. We gotta kind of either choose not to show it at all, or maybe we just gotta cut little pieces out that are too violent or explicit for that child to see, because they're not of a proper age yet. Same with music. Unfortunately, I kind of agree with it and I kind of don't. It's a weird situation. But you don't want your 7-year-old listening to stuff that's constantly cussing and advocating drugs and violence. I'm sorry, you don't want your little kid listening to that at that age. And you might argue, well, they don't understand it. Yeah, this is true. But maybe there's certain phrases in there, because I know I did this when I was a little kid, that they will pick up and start using themselves that maybe they shouldn't. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So, that kind of censorship to a degree is understandable. But just censoring other people's art or, stuff like that for your own sake as a grown adult because you don't feel included enough, or you feel that they, as a group, don't deserve to do it. Well, where do you get off? Seriously. I, as a white guy, and this is the worst part, guys, it creates a culture of division, of divisiveness. We all become divided in everything. You've got the Hispanic, Latin, whatever community over here, the Asian community over here, the black community over here, and we've all been through this before of why I don't say African American, because it would be ridiculous to also call me a European American, and I'm all about equality. So you get the black Americans over there, the black people over there, and then you got white people over here. And there's different groups that are mixed in, obviously. Those are just some of the main categories that I'm going to touch on. But we're divided. Why are we divided? Because somebody out there still thinks that we need to be. Yet that same person is going to be the one who's going to champion the idea of equality. But at the same time, he wants to talk about cultural appropriation. I can't have my little kid can't dress up like an Indian for Halloween, because that's insensitive. You're censoring somebody's personal life at that point, which you need to stop. You just stop. It's uncalled for, and you want to talk about unkind? How are you going to be walking into somebody else's personal life and tell them what they can and cannot do? If I want to eat tacos on Taco Tuesday, that's my freaking business. You know what? I'm a white guy. I'm sorry. I'm white. I had no choice in that matter. It just happened that way. I'm a male. No choice in that. It just happened that way. I'm a Christian by choice, and I'm a veteran by choice, because I joined the service and I did my time and I went to war. That's what makes me a veteran. That's by choice. But the whole white male thing really didn't get an option on that one. It just kind of worked out that way. And you know what? My background is English. The main background, because I've got a lot of different bloodlines that come filtering through my family to eventually get down to me. But the two main ones are English and German. Those are the two main. I don't get mad at anybody. I can't get mad at a black guy who wants to get down on some fish and chips. Actually, I would agree with him. Fish and chips is good. So a little fried whitefish with some waffle fries or whatever. That sounds good. Sounds amazing. If there's an Asian dude wanting to get down on some bratwurst with some sauerkraut, man, get on it. May I suggest the Jaeger Schnitzel? It's damn good. I'm just saying. Cultural appropriation, there's no such thing as. That's some made-up BS some angry individual, some angry minority individual came up with because they didn't like the fact that, and I guarantee this is what it came from, that there was like a white guy making tacos or something. I guarantee it was some stupid thing like that. And they probably made the tacos wrong. Fair enough. Look, Taco Bell is about as Mexican as I am. I'm sorry. But it's what we call Tex-Mex. And actually Taco Bell I wouldn't even rate as Tex-Mex, by the way. But Tex-Mex it's a thing. It's become a food thing all its own. It's kind of a subcategory of Mexican food. And personally, I love it. And it's a culture. It's something we find here specifically in Texas. I don't care if you're black, Asian, Mexican, you're in Texas, we're Texans. And we enjoy certain perks of being Texans. One of them's barbecue. We're known for barbecue. Come on, guys. It's specifically Texas barbecue because there is a South Carolina barbecue. There's different types of barbecue. We've got Texas barbecue. We've got Tex-Mex. And authentic. There is places that do authentic Mexican food. And it's delicious. Why shouldn't every one of us be able to get down on that? There's no reason. If we all want to go down to like Austin, yeah, Austin's a little weird. It is what it is. You Texans know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are not from Texas and don't understand what I'm talking about, just trust me, Austin's a strange place. But anyways, if we want to go down there, they do have like one of the biggest live music scenes in the country. Man, we can go down there, get down on some Mexican food. Go run across, go one of these clubs out on 6th Street, get a few beers, some cerveza, maybe some Tecate, which is pretty good, by the way, some Dos Equis. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. And then listen to like dudes like KRS-One up there getting down on it, man. What's wrong with that? We enjoy. I think with the beauty of people's different cultures is, we all bring something different to the table for everybody else to enjoy. The disappointing thing to me would be that I brought something to the table that everybody's like, no thank you. That would disappoint me. And the same goes for anything on censorship. Honestly, for all the guys out there who constantly censor people's work, if you were bringing something musically or artistically in any way to the table and somebody else slapped a big censored, bar across it, you'd be upset too. You would not be happy with the fact that your art was being labeled insensitive. It was being labeled as not fit for people to listen to, based on just one person's prerogative. How is that fair? It isn't. So inclusivity, look, inclusivity happens. It really does. Exclusivity, there's not really a problem with it. There's not a bad thing. There's nothing bad about it. Yeah, sometimes you wish you could get into that Ivy League college. You wish you could play, be a linebacker for the Raiders, You wish you could be a quarterback for the Cowboys, You wish you could play shortstop for the Red Sox. Whatever. But it's kind of exclusive to people who can actually do it. You might want to go to Yale. A little harder to get into. Better study harder. That's how you do it. You want to play, third base for the Yankees or something? Hey, you better go practice. Better get good at baseball. That's all I'm saying. And then you can try for it. That's how exclusivity works. It's not exclusive for all your life necessarily, but it's exclusive to the point of where you work to get yourself to the point where you can be included. Music's not exactly the same way. It is exclusive to certain groups, but it's really just a you like it or you don't kind of thing. And honestly, and I said this too, I remember there was a girl a long time ago, she was talking about how she hated Luke Bryan's music because it objectifies women and stuff like that. Look, I don't care for Luke Bryan either. His music is what I like to refer to as bro country. It's like the cool country all the young guys 18 to 24 listen to, where it's all about drinking beer and mudding and hanging out on a country road. I don't care for it either. Every one of the songs sounds the same. That's my problem with it. It's not really creative enough for me. It's kind of crap. But anyway, I will still defend the artist. And her thing is, it objectifies women. It's sickening to listen to it. Anytime I hear it come on the radio. And I asked her, well, do you sit there and listen to the whole song? She goes, well, no. I turn the station. Okay, then what's the problem? You don't like his music, fine. Nobody's going to argue that. But you've already solved the problem. You switch the radio station. And then she started yelling at me, saying she could say whatever she wants. I'm like, yeah, of course you can. I'm just saying, you've already solved the problem, so why are you bitching about it? You know what? It's amazing to me that everybody takes their smallest issues that they think is really, really a huge problem. It's problems that are personal to them. And they try to make it everybody else's problems. My problems are not going to be the same as your problems. My problems are not going to be half as important to you as they would be to me. Maybe you can empathize and maybe you can get on my same level, but it's not going to be the same. Everybody's different. Everybody has different tastes and different likes. And to sit there and have the audacity to tell other people what they can and cannot listen to based on your prerogative, based on your likes and dislikes, is wrong. I'm sorry. There's no other way to look at it. It's wrong and it shouldn't be done. So, censorship. In closing, censorship, because I'm closing this out. This video's rambled on for quite long enough. Censorship is wrong. Point blank, period. I don't like censorship. I don't think it should be a thing. Unless, again, when you're dealing with explicit things and little kids. But I think a lot of that also falls on the parents to keep their kids away from that until the appropriate time frame. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not like kids don't have music that they can listen to or TV shows or movies that they can watch. They absolutely do. And you got, if you got a parent that's their kids are sitting there watching Dirty Harry at the age of like 7, you're failing. Unless you just don't care. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I personally, in general, believe that censorship is wrong and shouldn't be a thing. I believe that it infringes on freedom of speech. And everybody out there that's just a typical average person that has no business in the media, you don't do any business in the artistic community or in the media, needs to keep your nose out of trying to censor other people's art. Art is relative and art is subjective. It's not gonna be liked by everybody, so you need to get the hell over it and find something better to do with your time. That's what I got for you. All right, so that's all for that, guys. It's really all I have on that. Really hope you found that engaging. I hope you found that interesting. Maybe it gave you something to talk about with friends later on. Another note, I'm going to try to start, I don't know if it's going to work out. I was going to try to start a new YouTube channel that's going to be completely based on history. You guys know I'm a history nut. I absolutely love history, but I need to see if I can get a couple of other people involved in it, because doing it myself and trying to do this channel at the same time is going to be kind of difficult. So I'm going to try to make it happen. I don't know how easy and how well it's going to go down. But when it gets to the point where it's going to launch, I'll let you know. like I said, it's going to be all it's all history. So if you want to learn something unique or cool about history, maybe a few little more in-depth details about some of the bigger history events that you might have heard, you might know about, we're going to go cover that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it, get down on it. Anyway, I need to really start trying to amp this up and make this better. So I'm going to leave a link to my PayPal in the description below. If you guys are feeling generous and you want to help this channel grow, I'm not saying anybody has to at all. The link will be there. You guys drop by, throw a dollar at me, let me know that you love me, you like what I'm doing, you want to see me go further, and we'll see what we can do. All in all, I will be trying to purchase a new camera, a microphone, something to make this a little bit better, ramp up that quality a little bit. But anyway, so really all I got. So you guys take it easy, and I'm sorry guys if I keep staring off. I got a pizza sitting over here and I keep staring at it because it looks really good and I want to eat it, but I don't want to eat it on camera. So anyway, that's all I got. You guys are awesome. Keep staying awesome, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.